I was flying out of Chicago. Chicago got shut down the snowstorm. John Canary had to do the seminar, and it was on the date he had on his gold card. There was another guy, George Fint. He was a vice president with Prudential in Chicago. He set a goal of being promoted to senior vice president. On the day that he had on his card, he got it. They guessed right at the date. You don't know, you're guessing. Now, if you say, I'm going to guess, I'm going to do it on a certain date, and you get there and it hasn't happened, you just guessed the wrong date. Give yourself an extension, keep going. I have been off by as much as 13 months. I set a goal of being vice president of retail sales for the Nightingale Conant Corporation on a certain date. And the date came and went. I didn't get it. 13 months later, I got it. I just kept the picture in my mind. I kept acting like it was already there. Oh, here, look it. Go to the screen again. There's ideas coming in. Now, you can pretty...
Woo! Rise and shine, dreamers. Another blessed and grateful day. Happy Thursday. Hope you all had a fantastic start to the week so far. Feeling good, vibrating high. Lovely Cedric. Yes, yes, yes. Love it, love it, love it. Powerful start to the morning so far. Had to get it kicked off. A little bit of Bobby P. So today's topic is going to be a good one. We're going to be getting into the 5 levels of self-talk. And I can tell you right now, self-talk has literally been by far one of the most important subjects of this journey, because at the end of the day, you start to learn, even in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about it, right? Auto-suggestion. They say a lot of us, we think the same 60% of thoughts every day, and 80% of them happen to be negative. So self-talk is everything when it comes to success, life, growing every aspect of our life, because if we can't see it in our mind, just like you hear me say it every day, it's tough to go ahead and hold it in our hands. So this is a good one. This is a training that's always stuck with me for years, something that's going to continue to duplicate because I know everybody needs this one. So let me go ahead and get live on IG and let's get started for today. And yes, for those of you asking about the flyer, we've got a lot of different spots coming up, and anybody's local, we've got the man himself, BC, coming down here to Florida this coming month. So for those that are local, get ready. We've got a treat here in Orlando, February 1st. 5 levels of self-talk. And let me know, as always, how is everyone feeling? What is your word for the month? And what are we grateful for? Let's get it kicked off. Here we go. 5 levels of self-talk. And let's get into it. IG, happy Thursday. Feeling good. Grateful to be alive. So grateful for God. So thankful for the wisdom, for the access, for the times that we're living in. You know, this morning I had some really powerful conversations with some of our business partners, some of our students. And I'm telling you, there's never been opportunity that's sitting, knocking at the door for each and every one of us than right here, right now. So let's go ahead and dive into it. B, what's going on, Brandon? It's good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Love it, love it. Grateful for a lot. So let's get into it. 5 levels of self-talk. The first thing is first. Number 1, again, Bob Proctor teaches this, Jim Rohn, a lot of the greats. This is a training that's been around for a while, but if you haven't heard it, I guarantee you this is going to give you a ton of value. And even if you have, this is always a great refresher, especially coming into the beginning of the year, right? And for a couple different reasons. Lou, what's going on? It's good to see you. All right, so here we go, fam. 5 levels of self-talk. And the first thing is going to be this. Number 1 is the level of negative self-acceptance, okay? Now, this might be a little bit interesting, but here's what I learned years ago, okay? A mentor once taught me, he said, whatever somebody's speaking or thinking on a completely different level. So here's the difference, okay? He said, out of all of the levels, this is probably by far the lowest and least beneficial one, right? And the easiest way you guys can probably figure it out is just listen going out to work. Listen out at the grocery store. Listen out at different conversations anywhere that you go today. And you might hear people talking about their problems, people talking about misery. And what many don't understand is what it is that we speak about a lot of the times that we bring about. This is why things like Murphy's Law exists. And we've all been there, right? We've all done it. But the first level is really understanding that at level 1, Self-talk, it seems like the entire world is against us. And when I noticed this, I started to see that the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, right? When you learn the power of each of these, to give you guys an example, okay? The subconscious mind and the conscious mind. One of them is like a grain of sand. The other one is the size of a football field. So when you learn actually how to go at it and work both of the subconscious mind and the conscious, things start to change. And we begin to start shifting our self-talk because we start to learn that we can actually control what's happening inside of these 6 inches, right? We can either accept or reject ideas, depending on whether it's the subconscious or the conscious. But that's a whole nother training. Number 2, the second level of self-talk is going to be the level, they call it the level of a recognition and the need to change. And they say level character 2 is characterized by the I need to, I ought to, or I should to, right? We've all, how many of us know a time in our lives where we're like, I know I need to hit the gym. I know I need to eat a little bit better. I know I need to probably save some of my money. I've been spending it a little bit too crazy. We all have different areas in our life where we've experienced this a couple of times, right? Once or twice. But the difference is learning how to really understand that when it comes to self-talk, the ought to, the I should, the longer that we do this, the longer that we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we don't follow through, everything starts to compile. And this is why people say, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like just everything is just happening to me right now and nothing's happening for me. And it's almost like a dirty room. When the room is dirty, it seems like everything is just on top of each other. The same thing happens with the I should. This is why there's something that's called the compound effect. We're not going to get fat sitting here right now if we go eat McDonald's today. Not a lot is going to change. But if we go do that consistently for weeks, months at a time, we're going to start to see a little bit of a change. And now all the times that we said I should go to the gym, I ought to eat a little bit better, we didn't notice it in day 1 or 3. But after 21 days, 30 days, 60, 90 days, now we look down, we're like, man, how the heck did this happen? How do I look like this right now? It's because the compound effects. You don't notice it right away. And Bob Proctor, he actually did a really cool example on YouTube. I was looking at it yesterday, just studying Bob like usual. And he had this example. He had these 2 glass cups, and one of them was filled with red dye, and the other of them was filled with just water. And he took a spoon, and he said, this is the transformation of self-talk over the course of this journey through these 5 different levels. And he took a spoon, and he took the food coloring, and each time he would dump the spoon, 1 spoonful, into the food coloring. And at the beginning, you didn't notice anything. A handful of spoonfuls, you still didn't notice anything. But over time, with enough water, eventually it became clear. And the same thing happens with this journey. This is going to be something where we're going to rewire what we're normally used to saying and relearning new habits, new neural pathways to really start changing the way that we speak. So that's level 2. Number 3 is I recognize there's a problem and I see there's a solution. And here's the difference. An example is this. Let's say we have somebody who's used to drinking all the time. Okay, we have a drinker, alcoholic. I got a couple alcoholics in my family. So somebody who's used to drinking, and I can tell you I've seen this time and time again. When they go to stop drinking, okay, let's say they go a week or 2, and they say, you know what, I don't need any alcohol anymore. I think I'm done with this. This is not doing any good for my body. And now they start speaking affirmations. They start speaking as if they don't need a part of their life anymore. And you'll notice what starts to happen is the brain naturally starts to go ahead and lean towards these actions. Where now instead of going out to the bar, now they say, you know what? I think I'm going to go to the gym instead. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up a book. I think I'm going to start studying. And habits begin to change. And level 4 is, there's 2 more levels, stick with me. Level 4 is the better you. This is the most effective type of self-talk. Because now we're not only starting to talk it, but now we're starting to walk it as well. This is why you hear so many mentors, they teach I am statements, right? I am successful. I am so happy and grateful now that. But the difference is, I'll give you one piece to add to this. When you journal, adding a because. So many people can say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making $100,000, but that's not really fulfilling. There's no emotion tied to that. But if you add it because, maybe, I mean, I'll give you an example for me. I would like to take my mother and travel all over the world. I'd like to help her get her teeth fixed. I like to pay for all of her medical bills. These are things that I foresee myself being able to do. That's why I'm going so hard. Same thing with my grandfather, going through a lot of issues, a ton of bills right now. I'd like to wipe that off so it's not even a thought, it's not even an idea for them anymore. But these are things that I speak. These are things that's going all day with my self-talk. Instead of listening to doubt, fear, negativity, I wonder what life looks like when we lean into courage, confidence, really visualizing a clear HD visualization of what life looks like in 2025, stepping into the highest version of ourselves. And last but not least, level 5, right? Giving back to your family. I love it. Being able to travel, doing things for them. Huge. Level 5 is called the universal affirmation. This is when everything that we've just talked about, whether that be traveling, giving back to charities. I know Tony Robbins for Thanksgiving, he gives away millions of dollars to homeless people that don't have food, because there's one time during Thanksgiving where he didn't have money for food. So that's what drives him. And it was so funny. He has interviews where he used to talk about, I'm going to give away millions of dollars to families. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to help people get rid of poverty. And now he does it. So the same thing happens with you and I. We don't have to wait for this to go ahead and manifest. We can speak it as if it's already done. So you can see we've got a lot going on here in the office, fam. I love you guys. I appreciate you. These are the 5 levels of self-talk. I hope you got a piece of value for today. But remember, the words that we speak, what we speak, what we hear, what we see directly contributes to the life that we're living and what is coming tomorrow. So I speak life into you. I speak nothing but greatness, health, abundance, love, passion into each of your lives. And if any of you need me, any of our leaders, feel free to reach out. We got your back every step of the way. And remember, we can be, do, and have. Have you guys ever thought about why I say that at the end of every call? You realize this is the 5th level of self-talk, right? I speak it into all of us every day. We can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind, we can hold in our hand. This is the self-talk. I don't care if you're living in an RV. I don't care if you're living in your car. Regardless of the scenario, we can still speak life and speak truth into each of us, because at the end of the day, we are all God-given, each and every one of us, more capabilities, ideas, and skills that we could ever even fathom. So appreciate you, fam. I love you guys. Have a phenomenal day, and let's go out and turn these dreams into reality. It's game time. Let's grow.